So I am testing out and experimenting using a different recording program. So we'll see how this goes. It looks like the most I can record is 2 hours, but usually I don't record very much longer than 30. So we're gonna give it a try. So thank you for coming back if you've been here before. Um, if this message doesn't seem like it resonates with you, I probably have like 100 messages on here, and sometimes like I'm clairvoyant and have prophetic gifts, so there may be an older message that was actually for you for right now. So I would assume that like whatever YouTube is like recommending to you, like, you know what, I know it's an algorithm, but sometimes in the algorithm still I do feel like there's something like there have been days when I need to hear something, the way it just like shows up for me on my feed is really just kind of something, you know? So, um, let's take that with a grain of salt, if you will. Here. I read, so I work, reading, game all in the same spot. You know, I know a lot of readers will have like a dedicated place where they go and make theirs, and I don't know, I don't do that here. Just, okay. See, I have it facing, I'm using my webcam, so it's like facing me. I need to do it in a way so that you guys can see. Maybe that's why people don't always like my videos, because like, it's like I record it with me looking at the cards, but it's like I need to reorient it maybe so that. But anyways, I saw that it was a full moon today, so I thought I should. Ooh, look! To start off with, we have Kali in the Winged Seer. You see clairvoyantly. Didn't I just? I just said. I was just saying how I'm clairvoyant, and there may be messages here for you. So if you came back looking for a message, and if whatever we're talking about right now doesn't feel like it applies, there may be another one here for you, and I feel like Spirit will show you which one that is for you. Ooh, and we also have the Sea Storm Mermaid, which is the calm amidst the chaos. So this reading may be for somebody who's had a lot going on lately. So there's something went to the spirit realm. Well, that's interesting. I bet you'll know what this is because it says you see clearly, and then we also have Kali out here. You know what? This Kali card, this is like my favorite card in this whole entire deck. But I super love this deck for this time of year because it has a lot of cards about autumn and pumpkins and Halloween. You know, this deck is called like the Light and Dark deck, but Oracle. But yeah, and it has like there's a lot of ancestors in here, or ancestor related cards, or cards about ghosts and stuff. You know, so pick one more, and then I'll get my Soul Trees deck. So, yep, a powerful energy shift is here. So we have the Eclipse Mermaid. So there's two mermaids out here. There are two mermaids, a seer. This Angel de los Muertos, she usually has to do with transmuting things over to the spirit realm. Can also represent people who are passing on. But she came out reversed. We also have at bottom of the deck, the Fairy of the Highlands. It's a time to be brave, but it came out upside down. So I'll say so I just would like to say to somebody, if you're going through a hard time right now, if you if you've just if you're let's say like if you have a loved one who feels like they might pass away soon and or are going through something that feels life threatening, and you're afraid that they're going to pass away or that you're going to pass away or something like this, I feel like these have come out because I feel like you shouldn't fear. Whoever this represents in your life, I feel like it's meant for this to happen. But I'm also kind of feeling like, even though this often comes out when somebody passes away, I do feel like this transitioning something to the spirit world, I feel like this is okay, because we have Kali here, right? And it talks about from death comes rebirth, which is like sort of like that phoenix energy, right? So, what I really feel for you, I feel like not necessarily you're gonna die or somebody's gonna die, but I do. This almost is kind of like, it's like a tower energy from the regular tarot. You know how with towers it's like that uh, an event that brings something screeching, usually involves screeching, halting something to an end in a way that you can't avoid. And this is like that kind of energy. Like something was going on in your life and it's been transmuted to the spirit world. And it's going to cause you to this, I feel like the part of you, the you that you were before this full moon, that part of you is being laid to rest. And as you come out of this full moon energy, you know, this energy of fear that you were in is about to be completely closed out because I feel like what seemed okay, so let's just hang in there with me real quick, okay? What seemed like this chaos in your life was actually this energy of death and rebirth. So we see this Angel de los Muertos that usually talks about death, right? But instead of like an actual death, you're going through a rebirth process. So, like, a lot of times when we go through this, it does bring things to an end. So sometimes it'll be relationships, it may be a workplace, um, it could be anything in your life that you were putting a lot of value in and it's coming to an end. And I think you knew that it was going to come to an end because with Wing Seer, it says you see with clarity, and this talks about having clairvoyance. So, you may actually have spiritual gifts, you know. If you haven't been listening to them, I feel like, all right, so we had this Fairy of the Highlands, right? And it was upside down because it was talking about it's time to be brave. And I feel like, not that you can't be brave, but it kind of feels like whatever you were seeing, so you could see things happening. And it was kind of like, it was that feeling of like, like, in the Two Towers when Samwise Gamgee gives that speech to Frodo and he's talking about like, sometimes you didn't want to know the end of the story because how could the world go back to being good after so much terrible had happened, you know? And he says, but now I understand why those stories have meant something. Because the people in those stories had a million chances to turn back, except they never did. And they didn't because they were holding on to something. And like in that scene in the movie, Frodo says to him, what are we holding on to? And he says, because Mr. Frodo, there's some good in this world and it's worth fighting for. And even as I'm saying this, I'm like getting goosebumps on my arms and on my head. So I feel like whoever this message is for, I feel like that is totally for you. Something in your life right now, you're having like, you're at that moment, you're on a journey and you're at a part of your journey where it's like, you know, and we were talking about the calm amidst the chaos, right? Okay, because like if you think about that scene in the Two Towers where they like Um, jeez, dude, my brain is like blinking out on the name of that town. But so like they take them into the town that's under siege from, because they're at war. The men from Gondor, they take them in there, and that speech when that speech happens, it's like right before that was like when the ring wraith was like trying to summon Frodo, and everybody watched it, and then it was like right after that speech is also where Faramir comes over and he's like, now we have this understanding, right? So I feel like you've been in a situation where so maybe you were dragged into a war and battle that had nothing to do with you really, but you ended up somehow embroiled just because you were just adjacent. Maybe people, like other people involved, thought that you were involved, but you weren't. And so you've been misjudged and talked about and speculated and all this stuff. And you're like, damn, dude, I'm just trying to do this. Why can't I just finish this, And so, like, the circumstances that were playing out were really kind of freaking you out. And just like, God, dude, why does it have to be like this? But I feel like you have spiritual gifts, and because we saw that clairvoyant, right? You have gifts, and I feel like you're being meant to use them. So I feel like this whole situation, let's go back to that quote, because it says, what are we fighting for? Because there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. you know? So I feel like maybe even too, like if this has to do with something in your life that you feel is good, that's really important to you, maybe this is something that's telling you, like, you know what? There's something in your life that's worth fighting for. Don't give up. Don't be afraid. And I know it's easy for me to say that because I don't know you, and I don't know all the particulars of your particular circumstance and everything that's happening to you, but don't give up, because as long as we're alive and we're still here for it, anything is possible at any given time. But if you give up, then definitely nothing. Oh, look, and I split the deck, and I'm going to take these because I feel led to take them. We have dreams and the past. Oh, and beliefs and expectations. I feel like that's really important for you for some reason. So maybe some of what's really spooking you out are the dreams you're having. So you're having dreams. So you keep having all these dreams. Ooh, and then we have the full moon on this completion card. And coming together. So in your dreams, you keep having dreams of coming together with somebody and something coming to a completion. But also, like, maybe something in those dreams is happening that kind of scares you a little bit. But look, there's the little moon and the little moon. There was a moon here. Is there a moon over here? No. Because this was going to be like a full moon reading. And there's some confusion and harmony. Isn't that interesting? To have confusion and harmony both at the same time. It's like, we're confused, but we're confused together. So that's all that matters, right? Ooh, I wonder who is this together for you? A subtle energy? Are you the subtle energy? So so you want to create harmony in the situation? Well, it said the calm amidst the chaos. Maybe like whoever is your Frodo, is carrying something that's their equivalent of like that one ring. So they have that burden and that mission and that thing they have to do. And you were like their best buddy who was going to go with them so they didn't have to go alone. It's almost kind of also making me think of like how Legend of Zelda and the fairy comes and gives them, says, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. So take this. It's inner growth. Here, take this. It's inner growth. And subtle energy, it's coming up. Yeah, so I feel like this is that other person's energy. Put that out there. The inner growth. And the harmony keeps coming out, so I'm going to take that for you. We're going to take that. So yeah, so the calm amidst the chaos. Oh, and then underneath here is judgment. So you have good judgment and the playfulness, and you're having a strong mind. I love it. This is like, you know what? Even though it seems like everything that's going around you is a little bit chaotic, I feel like your role with this person, you're meant to be this person's Samwise Gamgee, okay? If you're vibing with me with these Lord of the Rings analogies, because you have the willingness and you care about their well-being. So you're meant to be helping this person. So like this is also your path. So like what's going on started off as this other person's path, but I feel like because we had that clairvoyant card, so I feel like you've had dreams that have shown you that you're actually meant to be helping this person. And maybe not only are you going through a kind of death and rebirth, but this person you know what? Look, if you're Sam and this other person is Frodo, like, I don't know if you've ever actually read the books of Lord of the Rings, but when you read Return of the King, they don't really go over it in the movies, but in the books, like when the hobbits skip back to the Shire, they are not the same hobbits that left the Shire. You know what I mean? So, and if you've read it, then you do know what I mean. So, like, in the books, there's something called the Scouring of the Shire. And while they were over there throwing down Sauron, Saruman was over there taking the Shire and turning it into a second mini Mordor, you know? And when they came back and they saw that, they were just like, oh, hell no, we didn't just go through all this so we could come home and find the birth of the same thing happening over here. No, we're not. That's not happening. Nope. You guys are about to get the fuck right out of here because we're just going to throw it out. Excuse me. Sometimes I do swear. I have a potty mouth, you know. I'm kind of sweary, you know. Ooh, you're being guided to wait patiently and trust. So, like, I'm going to take these for you because I feel like this is your energy. You're like this willingness, and you're meant to wait and trust because right now, this calm amidst the chaos, what feels like chaos to you, it just feels like chaos because it's the unknown. You don't know it in this gray, which is matching the sky. So it's like you kind of feel freaked out because you just don't know what's going on. You know, but there's this coming together. Yeah, so it's like there's you, there's you, and then there's somebody in your life who's like to you, you're like the Samwise. You're okay, so you're like the Samwise Gamgee to somebody, and somebody is like to your Samwise is being the Frodo to your Samwise. So maybe, ooh, and this either this person finds you being around, it gives them a sense of ease, and or they give you a sense of ease. You guys coming together is gonna make it easier for both of you. So I'm gonna take these. No. So yeah. So you guys are meant to come together and help each other do this. And this person loves you, and they've been really reflecting on that lately. If you've never read The Lord of the Rings, you should go read it. If you're liking this reading so far and you resonate with The Lord of the Rings and you haven't ever read them, read Return of the King. Because like there's a whole section after they come back from being in Gondor, and it's you know it's like that whole thing of like you went on this whole journey to go do all this, and you're like, you know what? Being told to make a wish. Ooh. So the universe. All right. Here's where we go. So I guess. So the universe says because you're in the Samwise energy and for accompanying and helping this person that's in the Frodo energy, because you're doing that, the universe is going to grant you a wish. So make a wish. Make a wish. I don't know if it's going to happen right now or it may happen when this situation is over. They're not showing me the win. Well, I have some win cards. I'll pull them out in a second. But right now, you're being guided to just adapt to the situation as this path is winding, to just go with it. You're being guided to just go with it. An illumination, there's our full moon, because this is a full moon reading. So yeah, you're being guided to adapt and you're going to be shown the way. The community kind of wanted to come upside down. So, well, you know, we did see that calm amidst the chaos. So some of this chaos, you remember I was talking about how, like, your Frodo person is in a situation, right? So, like, in the Two Towers, they're brought to, golly, why can't I think of the name of that city? I know the name of that town, and I just can't think of it, right? Not Minas Tirith, sheesh. Osgiliath, that's it. So, there is something, there's an equivalent that you guys are in a place that's like this battleground. It's a battleground between a bunch of different sides, and it's just like, it's like, why do we have to be here? Why do we have to be involved in this? This doesn't even have nothing to do with us. These people don't have nothing to do with us. Why are we so involved in this? Why are we so involved? They don't have nothing to do with us. People are dragging us into things. It's just these people, they took you guys because they're like, hey, this Frodo person has something and we want to use it. We think that their gifts or whatever this is, whatever this ring energy, whatever that equivalent is for your person, like the people in this community want it for themselves. They want to use it. And so they're trying to like bully this person, you know. And that's why the universe has you there with them so that they're not alone in it. You know, like how Sam comes and pushes Frodo out the way so that he's not taken by a ring wraith. You're going to be you're going to save this person from something that could be a huge disaster. I feel like this situation between you guys and this community is going to pick up momentum. And it's with the blooming, you know, you may even see, because you know, like if you really think about Sam's journey in those books and the movies, you know, even though it's Frodo's journey, it's kind of Sam's journey as well. You know, all the hobbits, all four of them, they all go on a journey, you know? Yeah. So you may be experiencing some changes in your body at this time. Or the full moon energy may make your body feel like you're a little bit extra thirsty and or a little bit extra tired. And you guys should do what you can to take care of your bodies. Maybe you're also like a cook energy as well. Because you know, Sam, like part of what Sam did, like on that whole journey, Sam was always making sure that everybody was eating, you know? Sam made sure, Sam was like the team cook, you know? He was making sure that everybody ate and shadow. So this person, you know, they may feel like they're being lost and or stuck in their shadow. I don't think the shadow is you. But I think you can see the shadow that they feel in. But you're like this situation, the end of this situation is going to liberate this person from the shadow. And I actually feel like just because you're there, like, you know, because like everything that happened to Frodo is like happening to Sam also, right? So it's like they're sharing the burden and the outcomes of that situation. And even though Frodo and Sam are experiencing it differently, it's still it's a mission that they've shared together, you know. And there's even a time where Frodo was like, he wouldn't have made it very far without Sam, and that's so true. It's so true. Sam is like the unsung hero in that story. So we have some authenticity and spirit. So I just feel like down the bottom we have go within. So I'm gonna wrap this up really soon. But at the bottom of this deck we had the pink lotus fairy where it's time for spirit. And now we have that confirmed with spirit. You're being guided. So to go within, I feel like so in your body, within your physical body, your waking body, your body is going to tell you what it is you should be doing. And I think you need to listen to that. Like, I feel like you're going to have gifts that open up. And it's really important for you to stay in this authentic energy, because you being in this authentic energy is what's going to help these gifts to bloom. And as that happens, you're going to be able to help have momentum for the situation. So I don't know what situation this is for you, but you know, I don't know. I just feel like you know, like even though you may, and you know, you may actually feel like, oh, I'm just a sidekick to this person. And it's like, you know what, sidekicks matter. Don't belittle yourself. You know, there's a lot of heroes that do things and they succeed because they have that sidekick, you know. And that doesn't make you less. It doesn't make you not important, you know? And every sidekicks, you know, a lot of sidekicks eventually one day step away from being a sidekick and they eventually become the main hero at some point, right? They reach a certain maturity level within use of their wisdom and gifts, and they go on to do that. And so I feel like um you know, you're meant to be in this situation with this person and you're meant to help them. And I feel like you know, even if it's scary, you should do it anyways, because that person is in a situation where all the odds are against them and nobody else is on this person's side, and you may be the only person who actually has earnest and positive goodwill intentions for this person, because this whole community of people who was bullying this person, you know, they were creating all this chaos and problems for this other person, and you may be the only one. Like, maybe you're the only maybe you are in a unique position that's giving you like this bird's eye view, so you can see what these people are doing, but you also know this other person enough to see what they're doing. And I feel like, you know, you're in a really unique spot because maybe the way you know this person, like the rest of these people don't know this person like you do, you know? And so, like, even if you try to tell them, they're just not going to hear it from you because they don't really know you either. Like, they may seem like they kind of do. You're well spoken and they can tell that they can't mess with you, but also at the same time, they feel like they don't need to listen to you either. And also, like I said, I do feel like you've been having dreams about this. So I feel like, again, with the clairvoyant card, I feel like if you've been having dreams about this person who you're supposed to help, you will know what that is because you know your dreams. I feel like maybe before this, I don't know how much you used to remember your dreams, but all your dreams that involve this person make you feel like you've been in a movie and or a story. And I feel like maybe that's also like when you're in these dreams, it's also kind of making you feel heroic. It's making you, you know, you really go through a lot of experiences in these dreams. And these dreams may be so real, they may feel like past life memories coming back to you, perhaps. Or they just make you feel like it's not even just a dream. Like you're just seeing something from another place in time, or maybe another dimension where you guys have like gone through this together. And it feels like you really want to help this person. You know, you didn't want this person to be on their own, which is why you were involved in the first place. That's why you're seeing them in their dreams. You know, the universe has placed you somewhere and they're gonna reward you, okay? You have a reward coming. So, you know, you don't need to tell me or anybody else what your wish is. But they said you can make a wish and the universe is going to do something special. And it's going to be just for you, okay? If you made it to the end of this video, please give me a like. And if you'd like a personal reading, I do have a link to coffee, and or you can go to my Discord server and order one there. And that's it. I hope you guys like this. I hope this went over really well. I'm recording this. And I forgot what the name of this is. It's a new program. I just got it. So, if this works well, then I'll probably switch over to this. So, thanks for watching. Have a great evening.